Welcome to today's session, AI for ELT. The course is fully online. It started on January 1st, 2026. It was actually a wonderful way for me to start the year, and I'll explain in a minute why. And today we are on the 25th of January at our final Zoom meeting. We only had one before, so this is the second one, and I'm really excited. If you're interested in the course and you haven't taken it, and you're watching this recording, you are welcome to take it once again in October or January of 2027. A little bit about me for those who don't know or those who may have forgotten. I am a teacher educator. I offer free online courses on a Moodle platform called Integrating Technology. It has gone through a few names since 2006 when I started this. And I went through way back, which Wayward actually, which is a way to see your site from the past. So it used to be called relationship and then professional development, and now it's integrating technology. It was Moodle for teachers for many, many years, but since Moodle is copyrighted, I had to change the domain, and so I changed the name to Integrating Technology. I've been teaching for over 40 years, teaching English as a foreign and second language in both, hi there, good to see you, in both the K-12 as well as in higher education. I currently teach, as I said, online, completely online on my Moodle site called Integrating Technology. But I also teach at a university in Greece, also at a distance. And I teach mostly English language teachers. If you're interested in taking the course, it's in immersive technologies. It's a master's program in Greece for a year and a half. I think it's an amazing program. If you should be interested in that, you're welcome to ask me about it. You don't have to know any coding or anything like that. And it's absolutely amazing. I want to thank you, the participants of AI for ELT, for making this such an amazing course. It's because of you and your caring attitude to instruction and learning and making learning as well as you can for your students. And I think that that's something that I think only teachers possess. It's a characteristics that makes us, I guess, so human, even online, or even when we're teaching with technology. Teachers are caring, just like parents, to their students, whatever age the students are, it makes no difference. Teachers care. And that's why they take these online courses or other professional development courses, because they want to improve what they do. I don't know of any other sector of professionals who do this as much as teachers. It's like they spend most of their hours thinking about their students and how to improve instruction and learning. And I think that English language teachers are at the top of this. It wasn't only about learning how to actually apply and use AI tools to create content, and that's what you did. Um, I think many of you have already completed the course. Actually, 10 of you already have your certificates. That's absolutely amazing because the first members of the course to finish the course did this in about 11 days. And that's amazing. I always think, will they manage to complete the course? Is it too much? But nothing seemed too much for you, and you did it in 10 to, 2 weeks. And we still have another 6 days to go for week 4. And that's what I meant when I said that many of you, if not most of you, have already completed the course. So kudos to you for being such amazing and passionate educators. What you did in the course, and for those who are watching this, was absolutely amazing. You created content with the AI tools that I was speechless. I just didn't know what to say, um, except thank you for sharing because there was so much I could say. I could actually write books for each one of your content creation. And it wasn't easy. I mean, you shared images, text, audio, video. You used Google Docs and had to share that. You used Colossyan, which is a relatively new tool, and you managed to do it. You used Generico, and you did all of this on a Moodle learning management system, and you did it perfectly. It was just heartwarming to see the amazing tools that you created and embedded using Generico, of course, or when you couldn't do that, you simply added the link and we were able to view it that way. So thank you again for that. And thank you also for adding comments on my YouTube videos. My YouTube videos are the second thing that I do, and this is, to be honest with you, is how I'm able to give free online courses because of these comments on my YouTube channel and because of the 172 and 1,500 plus subscribers. I'm able to offer the courses for free. Otherwise, I don't think I would be able to. And people think, well, free course is wonderful, but they don't realize what goes into it. I have been using Moodle since 2003. I'm the admin. I have a server, and servers cost money. Even though Moodle is free to install, everything else, there are expenses. I don't talk about these expenses, but the way that I'm able to self-fund because I'm on my own is through my YouTube channel. So if you want to show your appreciation, feel free to go over there and just add comments to my videos because that's how I get promoted. So thank you for those who have done that, and thank you for those who are going to do it in advance. So thank you for that. So week 4, what's ahead in week 4? Before we dive into week 4, I want to take a look at the chat and see what's there. Right now, Zoom is changing all the time, as you know, or if you don't know, once you use Zoom, you'll find out it has changed quite a bit in the past, I guess 10, no, 11 years. I've been using Zoom since 2015. Wow, time flies. And it has gone through a lot of changes. So I'm looking for questions. If you have a question, put a question mark at the end so I'll be able to view that very, very quickly. And you're welcome to ask questions as we go. As you know, I love questions. I thrive on questions. And I just wanted to say that if I ask you, and I will ask you, what makes you happy as a teacher? What gives you that satisfaction and wonderful feeling that you're succeeding? Just add a word or two in the chat box so I can see if we're on the same page. Oh, I'm glad. That's wonderful to hear that you've already started using the tools with your students. That's wonderful to know. So the feedback you get from your students gives you that aha moment or makes you feel wonderful and hopefully good feedback. But even, I guess, negative feedback is a learning opportunity. So it doesn't matter what the feedback is, as long as they're providing feedback. Achieving my aim for my creation, that's wonderful. Well, what I get uh, is from students who are creating. I love to watch students create. Now, it's whether they create a video in English because English is not their native language, and they do it in the park with other students, and they simply create videos. And I watch these videos and I hear them speaking English, and I know that they're not reading the text because they're doing it in the park or other places. I usually let my students roam and go out of the classroom, even if they're in junior high or high school students, but adult students definitely. They leave the classroom and they speak in English and they record themselves using their phones and cameras. And I get so much satisfaction from watching them speak English and create because in the classroom it's not natural. The teacher asks questions, you know how it is. But when they actually create content, it makes me feel wonderful. Yeah, that's a good point too. When your students ask you to repeat something, it means that they actually listened. So yes, we get a lot of satisfaction from seeing our students happy and engaged. And that's why you provided with me in weeks 1 to 4. You were engaged, and I loved it. And I love the fact that you also responded to each other and you learned from each other. And that's what gives me satisfaction. And I was very happy throughout the course. I just kept smiling at your comments. And as I said, they were so beautiful and your work was so wonderful. I was speechless. So if I put thank you for sharing and your, because I just didn't know what to say. It was so amazing. So thank you. And I'm sure your students love you for being who you are and what you're doing for them. So by the end of week 4, those who haven't done this yet, but feel free to add comments to the ones who are still working. That would be wonderful and make them feel like they can do it, that they have a week left, but they will be able to do it, even the ones who started late. So you attended this meeting and you'll get a certificate, not a badge, a certificate for attending from Zoom. So make sure your email is correct and it's the name that you want. Make sure that the name is correct, that it's not number 123 or something like that in your Zoom account, that it's your real name so that, and this certificate of attendance also has a code inside it, so it's worthwhile. They created a UWare or a lovable tool. They've used it to create an app or a website. And I highly recommend that if you've done this for a website, that you try it for an app and see how it goes. They created a walkthrough video, and your walkthrough videos are amazing. I just love them. And they, of course, use Colossyan. Colossyan, you'll have a chance to win a 1 year pro. I think it's even business. It's really they've done amazing things for us. They know that this is a free course, and they were able to provide me with over 200, I think 250 pro accounts for you during the course that will end. But one person will win in the raffle. The raffle will begin on February 1st, and I'll conduct it live on YouTube so that you can join that and see the raffle as it's happening and see whether you win or not. And hopefully, may the best person win. They also voiced their takeaways and feedback on an app that I generated with UWare and reflected using Reflect. And I suggest you get an account on Reflect. It's free for educators and you will love it. And they added their feedback on Colossyan to qualify, as I mentioned, for the raffle. So this is a presentation, a Google presentation. It's available in the course for week 4 at the beginning, at the top. And if you click on these, once you get this, you'll be able to go to all these activities. Actually, I think that's it. And notice these are 2, but they're different. Okay, I generated these with UWare. The left one is from UWare with the link generated by UWare. And the right one, I added to one of my domains and I added to the server so I can use this all the time. If you're interested in doing these kind of things or learning about Moodle and how to be a Moodle admin, step by step, you can start with learning to create, and this is going to happen in May, learning to create content on Moodle. I give you a Moodle course where you can create activities, and then I give you a place to practice as a manager. And once you want to take training as an admin, I give you your very own Moodle site. And I can do this because of YouTube and the promotions and your comments, of course. They allow me to give a lot of free things to the teachers that I work with, and that's you. So just a little tick comment, and that's how I do it. So notice here, you will be able to see how you're doing by going into the completion progress on the right. If you have any questions, please don't use the pink support. That's only if you get locked out of the system, out of the Moodle. Use the support forms of the week. This is an example of what the completion progress bar looks like on the right block. So take a look at it. If you see that it's not filled in, you'll be able to contact me and let me know what's going on. Usually it means that I haven't graded your work. Everything is graded, and this is how I make sure that everybody works. This is from experience. It's all out of 100, so you can get in between grades. If you do it right, you get 100. If you don't do it right, you do it again. But nobody gets a 0. Everybody gets 100, and that's my policy. I hate grades. And I'm sorry that schools force me to give grades, and the university now forces me to give grades because grades just make people feel uncomfortable, in my opinion. And everybody wants 100. So everybody gets 100 in my courses, the ones that I'm in charge of. But at the university, of course, I'm not in charge. So there are various grades. And this is Riftbot, where you can access for free as an educator, but you need to apply. So I highly recommend that you apply. It may take some time, but you'll get it. So stay patient. You also get a chance to use my Canva Pro, which I offer for free so that you can use it. Let me know if you have any questions about that. There's the QR code if you've got your cameras ready. Just take a look at it. And of course, it's on this PowerPoint presentation. You can click and get it. Yeah, I get that a lot. At the beginning, teachers are very, very concerned about copyright issues, about plagiarism, about different things. But once they get started with using AI tools, they kind of change their minds. And that's what happens. That's why I think that everyone should use AI just to know what it's about. And then they can, feel whatever they feel. But I'm sure they'll change their minds. If you're interested, I'll tell you about some courses that are coming up later on. So stay tuned. And the badges, of course, notice they're baked. That means there's a code in each one of your badges. So it's not just a save as image or copy the image. No. Every badge that you get is unique to you with a code for you that's inside it. And there are many organizations that base their promotions on these badges and the certificate. The certificates are also coded. They're verifiable, so any organization can verify if the certificate is legit or not. It's just copy or paste, or somebody used AI to add their name to it. You can't do it. They're all baked. And these are the badges that you either received, will receive. And as I said, they're all coded. And this is the certificate. Now make sure that your name doesn't have any special characters. on it because Moodle only accepts Latin or English looking names. So it doesn't matter how long your name is. If your name is 5 words, you add the first two as your first name and then the other three as your last name, and that's fine. It doesn't mind the length. It does mind if there's a character on it that it doesn't recognize. Yeah, just like that. That's right, Maria, like yours. Yeah, so this has always been a problem. It's nothing new. It's a Moodle thing that has been around for quite some time. The problem is that if you're using Gmail for your login, Gmail will not keep you can't change your name in the course in your profile or in the Moodle or any other Moodle. It'll change it back after a few hours. So either you change it and get your certificate really quickly right after, or you because it changes very quickly, or you can change it in your Gmail account, which you might not want to do, right? Just for a certificate. So just change it quickly in your account under your profile, get your certificate, and that's it. And notice here, if you go into the forums, you can subscribe to them. And I suggest you do that because this way you get notified if there's anything new. This is what the course looks like. Actually, it's a site because it acts like a site because it has a link, a specific link to the course. Every course and every activity that you do has a specific link in the browser. So if you want to, tell me that there's a problem on in a certain activity, just go and find the link in your browser window and it's there. I also want to remind you if you're using Chrome to please delete browsing data because Chrome tends to act like a vacuum cleaner. It just takes everything in its way. And then if one day you don't see images or you don't see videos all of a sudden in the course or in the Moodle or any other Moodle, not just this Moodle, it means that you need to delete your browsing data. Actually, it's not just on Chrome, but Chrome tends to be uh, the strongest vacuum cleaner in the world. Um, this was your Colossyan introduction, and thank you for introducing yourselves. They were all amazing. This was my introduction. Notice you can stay um, a little bit longer in my team. Okay, I'll let you know, or you can ask me when I intend to close that. I haven't thought about it yet, but right now you all have, if you've joined the team, you have free pro accounts and you can do anything you want as long as you do it there. And you're doing amazing work. But it's kind of collaborative. It's nice to see what people are doing and you can comment on their work. So you can act as a team player there and we can continue collaborating. I want to remind you that before, if you haven't finished the course or if you still want to add things, don't post and go. Post and take a look at what you've posted because sometimes the links didn't work. Generico doesn't work with every link, and it says only with those the link provided does not allow embedding, and nobody seems to look at that. I always want to remind my students that they need to read carefully, but that's not always possible at whatever age. So this is a fact, okay? The Generico doesn't, because not every site wants the links to embed. This is not something that Generico, has a problem with. It's the websites. Websites decide how they want the links to work. Sometimes they allow you, like Mizzou. Mizzou will not allow you to embed its code. In no way. I tried everything. It doesn't. So with Mizzou, for example, Character does, but not for everyone. With Mizzou, you need to paste the link and then set it to open a new window. But otherwise, I like everyone to be able to open their work directly from the course and to keep everyone in the course, especially young students. With adult students is such a big problem, but even with adult students, everybody tends to just go off and and go into social networks and start watching videos during class, and it takes your focus off what you're doing. So in order to focus and stay in the course, Generico is a wonderful way to do that. And notice the differences. Google Form is only for Google Form, but Google Edit is for Google Docs. The name should be different. Maybe I'll change the name, but that's the official Generico widget. And then there's Google PDF, of course, Quizlet if you want to use Quizlet, and for all the other links. Now, this is an example. I don't know if have you seen this? Because I have, and I don't like it. I mean, it looks terrible, doesn't it? Instead of seeing, content, we see this, and it happens because many of you just went off. But what I do is because I don't like it, I go in the editor and I make the changes for you. Okay, so because I don't like it. Okay, thank you for letting me know that you're at work and that you're here. I'm glad you're here. So notice here that Google Edit goes with Google Docs. If you're using, something else, you can't use it with Google Edit. For example, notice the first link. It says presentation. If it's presentation, it'll work. And Google Doc, but other things will not. You can't put Google Form or links, videos in the Google Edit. Videos go in the link. Now that's not very clear unless you're told. But not everybody reads instructions. I don't even read instructions, so I don't blame you, but it is in the instructions. So we get something like this. Failed Generico attempt, you need access. Now, this could mean a lot of things, but what it usually means is that Google has changed. Google keeps changing. They don't let us know. So it used to be able to embed the link. Then Google changed it about a month ago before the course started. It changed it so that now you can't see it with view and there's no embed. You need to put PR before the view. I discovered this by accident. So if you do that, if you add, notice the link here. And I think that's a very important part of learning online. It's not just learning to use the tools, it's learning about the internet and how links work because everything is still based on the internet and on browsers. So we need to educate ourselves and our students about the internet, believe it or not. And links. Notice links have information. And if you don't pay attention to this information, you may get spammed and you may get hacked. And we know that, right? Because we get warnings from companies, from banks, especially. Do not click on links on your phone or anywhere else. Be careful in your email not to, but we can get information and find out whether it's a hack, spam, or legit. And if you're not sure, ask GPT, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Gemini is really good at this. That's what I do. So if I get an email and I'm not sure if it's legit or not, I just ask. So with Generico, look at the link. If you look at the link, there's a lot of information here. Notice it says drive google.com file. Now, file could mean that it's on your computer and it's not on the browser. So notice what you need to do here. The view won't work. You'll get that horrible, something like this, or you will get this. So you need to add the pre. and then it works. And most of you did this and you were fine. But remember to add it in the website, the URL. Another way to embed, and this is with your Colossyan video, many videos that we record can be embedded, but do not embed YouTube or Vimeo. You just paste the link and that's it. You don't do anything. So you need to go into Tools in the editor. Notice this is the editor, and then into the source code. And that's where you add the embed. Now, Colossyan videos have this. You just need to find it under Share. And then you just paste the code. Easy as that. Now, if you're afraid of HTML and source codes, you're not alone. I was afraid many years ago before I created my own website. This was in 2003. I was afraid. Every time I saw HTML codes, I got scared, really scared. I would shake. I don't know, my heart would just beat. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why I was scared, but I was scared of these codes. So you don't need to be scared. Just paste them, close your eyes if you have to. But there's no need to be afraid. They can't do anything. But yes, I used to be scared of codes like this. Now, codes have information in them, and you can learn a lot from looking at codes. Now, notice the Colossyan code. You get embed, the word embed is in there. Plus, you get a code at the end, these numbers, and they're specific to each video. They're called tokens, by the way. And then there's the width and the height, and you can change these and make them smaller. So there's a lot of information that we can learn from, and of course, educate our students. Because when we learn, we'd like to share. Notice these are the courses, and I hope you join, as I said. Some of the courses are no longer free. And this has to do with expenses after 2006, okay? Expenses have gone up, but in any case, most of the courses are free, and those that are not are $15. Notice here, February, what's coming up. It's free, and you can see when it's free because it has the lock open, and then you can just join. So online, Connecting Online has been going on. This will be our 17th annual event. It's by educators, for educators who have been volunteering. And if you're interested in doing this next year, that would be great. You can do it. You can join now. You get a certificate, of course, for free for attending, as well as for reflecting. So this is a chance, again, to reflect. No time based. You can do this at your own pace. Watch the videos. There are 28 sessions, Zoom sessions. It's done on Zoom by educators, and I think you will like it. Of course, most of it's about AI, since that's what interests us these days. There's also a free course on AI-generated action research. By the way, the conference is from February 6th to the 8th. And then there's from February 1st until the end of February, there's an AI-generated action research. You learn about AI tools and how to conduct research, action research, which I think is super important for educators because we want to improve. And this is one way of improving it for ourselves. And you learn how to create a problem statement and so on. And then there's a paid one in March, Applying AI in Research. It's more general. There's mindfulness that I highly recommend. I've been doing mindfulness for over 30 years. Actually, it's getting closer to 40. And there's a course in April. It's been going on for a number of years, and I think you will like it. I think every teacher should be aware of mindfulness and should practice it in and out of the classroom for personal and professional benefits. And then there's the Moodle that I mentioned, Moodle, where you create activities. You get a Moodle course where you can do your activities and resources. They're all with AI. So you'll get a chance to maybe use the same tools and activities that you had already created, but add them to a Moodle course. Now, this course, you can back it up at the end and you can migrate it to Canvas for free, of course, at the end. There's also developed a Moodle course, a whole course. This is more advanced for those who know Moodle. And then there's the manager of a Moodle site. This is paid. And there's the admin that I mentioned that took place in January. In December, sorry. It's for 6 weeks. And then there's free screen recorders, AI in education, that's free, that I also use at the university where I teach. And then there's a management skill in July that's free. And there are AI bots and interactive videos for educators in July. And what else? This is the whole year. And then there's a conference in August. Virtual worlds, if you're interested. I've been doing this since with two other colleagues, three actually colleagues, since 2015, or was it 14? So this will be our 11th anniversary. That's virtual worlds. And we do this in Second Life, but in other virtual worlds. It's a whole month of amazing work. You will love that. Of course, it's free. It's for the whole month of August. And then there is, again, AI for ELT in October. And then our December course, of course. And there's November. There is AI generated web quest, which is also completely free. That P is not supposed to be there. It was only paid for those who didn't complete it by the end of the course. Now you have to complete it, all these free courses by the end, and the reason is that I go on to the next course, and if I have to stay, it takes a bit of my time. So that's to encourage everybody to finish before the end of the course, before January 31st, because after that, you can continue at your own pace until July, the end of July, but you have to pay for it if you want my support. And once again, before we end, I want to thank you for participating in AI for ELT. I think most of you got a rose. I love roses. I have my own roses in the garden. And some of them, of course, have smells and others don't. But I think roses are amazing. And again, I want to thank you for your comments on my YouTube videos and remind you that it really, really helps. So thank you for that. And with that, I wish you all the best in your final 6 days of AI for ELT. And thank those that have completed the course for being such amazing participants and educators, and wish you a wonderful week. So thank you so much for being here and for being who you are, educators who care. Thank you. Let me